Today we're going to discuss bump test and calibration of a MiniRAE 2000. A lot of people can confuse bump testing with calibration, thinking they're one and the same. In essence, if a unit is calibrated and you simply apply calibration gas with a known concentration and it falls within a specific tolerance, there's no need for calibration because it has passed the bump test. So in this scenario, you will need the MiniRAE 2000, and there are 3 different regulator types that you could be using for this. You could use a calibration bag, which you fill with your gas sample and let the MiniRAE 2000, since it has a pump, suck that sample out of the bag to the PID sensor and lamp in order to calibrate or bump test. You would need a 6 liter per minute regulator to hook up to your cylinder to fill that bag fairly quickly. You have 2 different regulator types that have either a male fitting at the end or a female fitting at the end. And that is dependent upon the size cylinder that you have with you. And another type of regulator is called a demand flow regulator. And this will not work until there's a sample drawn out of the regulator, which opens the valve, and it will match the sample that the pump is pulling at and allow the gas to come out of the cylinder. A cylinder that we provide with a rental is a 17 or 34 liter cylinder of isobutylene that uses the female regulator at a preset rate of 0.5 liters per minute, which is recommended by RAE systems for calibration to match the pump flow. So we provide that with a rental, and that's what we're going to use today. Another cylinder is a 103 liter cylinder that would have your male fitting female thread on the cylinder that would have to screw on if you were to use this to fill your cal bag or to connect your demand flow regulator to hook directly up to your probe and let the pump pull the sample from the regulator. So in this scenario, we are using this cylinder of gas and regulator. So first you will need to turn on your MiniRAE 2000 by pressing and holding the button for a few seconds. When you let go, it'll say on. It'll start going through a warm-up screen. Give me the serial number of the unit, model. The operation mode is in survey mode, the date, the time, the temperature internally of the instrument. The gas we're using is isobutylene. The alarm limits will indicate that it's set for high of 100 ppm, low of 50. Battery 6.2, it will shut down at 4.2 volts. The user mode is in program. The alarm mode is in auto reset, so if it hits alarm, it drops below that, will automatically reset. The data log time left is 24 hours if your period is set at 60 seconds. It's going to click over and tell you it's ready to go. You can either hit yes and go in and start your monitoring, or at this point we want to do a fresh air 0. So you take your no minus button, your mode button, press and hold those together for a few seconds. You'll see a screen come up saying calibrate/select gas. It's asking yes or no, do you want to do that? Yes, we want to calibrate, so we select yes. It's asking, do you want a fresh air cal? Before you do this, if you can back out, you want to put in, if you know you're not in a fresh air environment, contaminant-free air, they have a charcoal scrubber filter that you can hook up to the inlet to ensure that you're getting a 0 reading. And again, on this filter, you have an arrow that's indicating for the sample flow. So you want the sample flow to be coming into your MiniRAE 2000. So we have the tubing set on this side, and we're going to take that filter, put it on the end, like so. And then when it says fresh air 0, you simply select yes. And it will say 0 in progress. You can zoom in. It's going to say wait. It's going to count down from 15 seconds. It's updating the data. saying the reading is equal to 0.0 ppm right now. You hit your mode button, and it's going to ask, do you want to span cal? At this point is when you can calibrate the monitor. But we're going to bypass that and do a bump test at this point. So we're going to put, no, we do not want to span cal. Then it's going to say, do you want to select a cal memory? If you hit your mode button, it'll go back to ready. You can hit yes. It's going to check. It's going to give you a site ID if you've assigned a site ID to this. It's going to say the gas is equal to isobutylene. It's going to warm up, and it's going to start giving you a reading. At this point, you can see the reading bouncing around. Give it a few seconds to clear. If you do see some drift, that could indicate that the lamp needs to be cleaned and or the sensor cleaned. But at this time, what we're going to do is we're going to connect the cylinder to the regulator by screwing it in. Again, isobutylene, 100 ppm. We're going to turn the valve on the cylinder to dispense the gas and connect that to the inlet. At this point, it's giving you an over indication, which is telling me there's more of a problem than just a bump test. So at this point, we may need to calibrate. We will need to calibrate this instrument. So we're going to disconnect the gas. Let that reading come back down. Give it a few seconds to purge the fresh air through the system. And during the bump test, if you apply the gas and went to 100 ppm plus or minus about 10%, some people go as low as 2 to 5%, as high as 20% for a tolerance. That's really on your individual company's needs. But at this point, since we were over at 9,999, we know it definitely needs to be calibrated. So we're going to press and hold the mode and no button. Stop, yes. Press and hold the mode no. Until it says calibrate. Select gas, you put yes, you want to calibrate. Fresh air cal. We'll do a fresh air cal again. Zero's in progress. Wait 15 seconds. The reason why you want to do a second zero is because with that being so high, you want to ensure that you do have a true 0 point before you calibrate. It's updating the data. Reading is at 0. Span cal, yes. Saying isobutylene. Span value equals 100, which matches your cylinder. I was saying apply the gas now. Turn your valve on the cylinder. Connect it to the front of your instrument. It's going to wait and count down, allowing the reading to stabilize to that 100 ppm. It's updating the data. It's saying it's called, the reading equals 101 ppm. So it is now calibrated. Calibration done, and turn off the calibration gas. Remove the calibration gas. It's asking you want to select cal memory. At this point, you can press and hold the mode button. It'll get back you out to the ready screen. You can hit yes. It's going to go back into an operational mode and a survey mode. Again, giving you a site ID if you have one or assigned one. Warming up. And at this point, what we can do is we can do another bump test just to show you. I turn the gas on in survey mode. I think it floated the instrument in real time and showing you that it's pretty much right at about 100 ppm. And at this point, it passed the bump test, and you know it's within calibration. Remove that. It'll drop to 0. And now you know your unit is within calibration and ready to use.